Mm-hmm. MITSI. MITSI's coming right now. She's right here.
You know, these,
Oh, Bridget's on the phone. Cool. I guess you guys will come here and talk, I guess.
Huh?
You'll be coming here to talk. You want me to sit up here? Okay, good, Brennan.
I'd like to call the July 22nd tentative millage and budget meeting to order. First on the agenda is the presentation of the superintendent's fiscal year 2021-22 tentative budget. And sitting in for Superintendent Askman today, we have our Chief Financial Officer, MITSI CORCORAN.
Good afternoon, everyone. So the purpose of the meeting today is to authorize the Budget Department to place an ad in the Herald Tribune to advertise our millage rates and our budget, or our proposed budget, for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. So again, we'll be convening on Tuesday to then actually have you take a formal vote on the tentative budget, and then again in September to actually adopt the final budget. I'm going to turn it over to Krista and have her kind of run through the truth and millage process with you.
Can you all hear me? Yes. Okay. Good afternoon. Just wanted to go over the truth and millage process with you briefly, just to let you know why we're here today, asking to advertise the tentative millage and budget in the paper this Saturday. So as of July 1st, the truth and millage process called TRIM, we enter into 101 days of that. And when the July 1st happens, we get the certified tax roll from the property appraiser, which helps us to be able to start building our budget with the official certified tax roll. By July 19th, the Department of Education has to send us the second calculation with this information, which is why there's always such a like a day or two turnaround time before we are able to get you guys the information for this to happen. Then then once we meet with you all by, to give it to you to be able to advertise, then on Saturday it goes into the paper, and then we have 2 to 5 days from that time in order to meet with you all again to actually review the budget, the public hearing. So that'll be the Tuesday. At that point in time, we'll hear public comment and talk about things about the budget. And then we have on August, but we have to do it this way because basically what happens is once that is approved by you all, then the trim notices can go out by August 24th by the property appraiser. So that's the 101 days as far as getting the trim notices out. And then we have until September 3rd through 18th in order to get the final budget adopted. So that's the trim process. If you guys have had a chance to look at your books at all, you can see for the millage rate, we have, let's see, for the millage rate, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Page 19, correct?
Yes, page 19. The Department of Education sent us our second calculation, and it has the required local effort of that as 3.447. That does include a prior period, or doesn't include a prior period adjustment. That's the line below at 0.014. It gives us a total millage rate at the bottom of 6.709. So that's what you're going to, 6.709, which you'll see in the paper. You should have also received the ads that are going into the paper. Okay, great. There's 3 of those that are required as well due to trim: the capital outlay ad, the budget summary ad, and then the notice of tax increase ad. So that's the millage, which is legislatively determined for us. And do you guys have any questions about the millage information or the ads that you saw? No, okay. I know it's just kind of legislative stuff, so.
And I know that the language that we have to say where we talk about it's decreased by 1.199%, 4/5 of the total proposed, and it goes on about rollback rates and all of that, that gets confusing for people. You know, of course, they would rather just hear, wait, you're reducing our millage rate by 0.266. That's something they could understand. But we are required by the state of Florida to print it this way, talking about the rollback rate and all those other stuff. This is the exact language that we are required to print.
Yes, ma'am, you're exactly right. We actually get an entire booklet from TRIM that gives the details of how it's supposed to be written out. The certified tax roll goes through the property appraiser that gives us the rollback rates that we have to put in that way. We send it off to the Department of Revenue before we put it into the paper on Saturday to determine that we've exactly listed the information correctly so that we don't get a violation. And thankfully, for the years that I've been involved in the process, we've never had a violation with the process. So yes, you all have been doing it exactly the way we're supposed to do it to be in compliance.
And I think for anybody interested in it, in the budget book that they can look at online, on pages 20 and 21, it gives a history of the proposed millage going back to 1969 to 70, when it was all the way up to 11.9, and it is now at 6.97. So we've been going down almost every year, and that shows now. You know, we've been making up for that by having more property value out there for the new construction and the increase in costs of prices. But for most taxpayers, not most taxpayers, because there's a lot of rental properties and there's a lot of commercial properties, but for residential, those who have the homestead exemption, they're capped at, was it 3% a year increase?
Yes.
So their taxes may still go up even if the rate goes down.
Correct, because of the property values. And on page 31 of the budget book, you'll see where the certified tax roll is going up 8.01% from the prior year. So we did have a lot of growth, percentage increase.
So if you guys will recall, during the legislative session this year, the legislature allowed the millage rates to stay the same and allow you to take advantage of the growth in your property values. Because Sarasota County is, you know, relatively property rich, we are capped by law. We can pay no more, which is still a lot, 90% of the FEFP. So as a result, that's why our rate is actually going down. The values went up enough that even at 90%, our millage rate would actually go down, where many others were able to maintain what they had in the prior year. So just wanted to share that.
And not that we want to get into the budget just yet, but if you have reviewed it, you all will be grateful to know that the projected ending financial condition ratio for 2021 at this point in time is 16.42% for the general fund. And it's important to note when you guys are looking at this projected actual that it does include our expenditures to date, but it also includes encumbrances. And because of the nature of the school district, we are ending one fiscal year, beginning another at the same time as, you know, we are starting a new school year. So they've purchased a lot of things in the prior year for next year. So there's usually about a $5 million encumbrance that rolls. So that's kind of why you always see a difference there. But we are projecting to end with that encumbrance still in it for 16.42%. And next year we are, it's supposed to be about 12.19%.
So going on the encumbrance theme, you know, you cannot procure any goods without having appropriate budget. But sometimes those goods aren't received before the end of the year, so that appropriation and encumbrance rolls forward to the next year. So when we're doing, kind of our worst-case scenario and providing you with projections throughout the year, it is based upon us spending everything we have encumbered, because potentially we will at some point. But as she has said, we're anticipating at least $5 million rolling forward, which is why we're going to end up positive partly. And then, we had less children, but we did have a hold harmless for the first half of the year. So that is also helping to contribute. While we did expend more dollars in our schools than we would normally on a per student basis because of the pandemic, there still was additional funding provided to us over and above what we would have normally earned. So I think both of those items are kind of contributing to why we think we're going to end better, which is never a bad thing. So kind of wanted to.
Okay. If there's no more questions, the next thing on the agenda is hearing of citizens. And seeing none, we will go on to item 3, the acceptance of the proposed millage rates. Is there a recommendation?
I move to accept the 2021 proposed millage rates for advertising as described below.
Second.
I guess we can vote. There's no questions, right? We can vote. Item 3.
Madam Chair, I think we may need to do a voice vote since I'm joining by phone, or if you'd like to take my verbal vote.
Okay, it's not coming up for me. So we're going to do a voice vote anyway. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? So it passes 5-0. We go on to item 4, the review and approval of the tentative 2021-22 budget for advertising. I believe we've already described that. Is there a recommendation? It's printed on your agenda.
Move to review and approve the tentative 2021 budget for advertising as presented.
Second.
Any questions? Any comments? Okay, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? So it passes 5-0, and it will be advertised. And we will be meeting again here to, nope, I'm sorry, I got to get to that page. We will be meeting here on Tuesday, the 27th. And I was looking at my book rather than at the cheat sheet my assistant gives us. The public hearing to adopt the tentative millage and budget meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, July 27th at 5:15. We will also have a workshop and a board meeting prior to that. Having nothing else to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.